Hey friends, here we are, day 39, and we're walking around kind of downtown Townsville today. And today we're in chapter 12, verses 1 through 12. And Jesus is going back and forth again. He's in Jerusalem. He's going back and forth with the religious leaders and stuff. And they're challenging him. They're trying to trap him. And he tells them this very difficult story that is actually very autobiographical. And he tells the story about a man who built a vineyard, and he very painstakingly built a property and all the things that would need to go to a productive vineyard. And he lends it, or he leases it, to a group of people who are hired farmers. And they're supposed to work the vineyard and tend the vineyard. And at the end of the time, when harvest comes, they're supposed to provide money or a certain amount of the grapes or whatever back to the owner of the vineyard. Well, they refuse to do so. And when the vineyard sends somebody to come collect, they beat him up and they send him back packing. And then this happens again. He sends somebody else and they beat him up and they send him packing. And then the owner of the vineyard says this. He said, there was none left to send, only his own son whom he loved dearly. The owner finally sent him, thinking, surely they'll respect my son. But the tenant farmers said to one another, here comes the heir to this estate. Let's kill him and get the estate for ourselves. So they grabbed him and murdered him and threw his body out of the vineyard. And what do you suppose the owner of the vineyard will do? Jesus asked. I'll tell you, he'll come and kill those farmers and lease the vineyard to others. And it's an interesting thing because, of course, Jesus is talking about himself and he's talking about his listeners. And they picked up on it. It says in verse 12, the religious leaders wanted to arrest Jesus because they realized he was telling the story against them. They were the wicked farmers. And so this plays off of what's just happened in the temple. Just got done with talking about the temple and how Jesus went in and he cleared everybody out because there was an intention for the temple. The temple was supposed to be a symbol of Judaism, the whole country, the whole world. It was supposed to be the place where God dwelt. It was supposed to be holy unto the Lord. And people had gone in and they were using it for their own financial gain. They were using it to make it harder for people to come, foreigners especially, to come and worship there and to sacrifice there. And so they had corrupted God's intention. They had corrupted God's place. And that's what Jesus is accusing these people of doing. He's saying, you have this thing that God has given you. He painstakingly created this beautiful thing that is our religious system, that is his own dwelling place. And you've corrupted it. You've used it for your own wealth and your own gain. And now God is going to expel you. He's going to bring someone else in and he's going to put them in charge of this. And he was foreshadowing the Gentiles. He was foreshadowing most of you and I that he was going to have the Jews have this as prominent a place. And he was going to graft in the Gentiles and allow them to have this beautiful thing called the church, called the kingdom that Jesus was creating. And so for you and I, we read this and we go, I guess I'm just filled with gratitude. I'm so thankful that God did include me in his plan. And I would hope to never be that person who's making it difficult for others to come to Christ. I'm never corrupting what God intended. And so I go back to scripture over and over and over again. And I say, God, what was your intention for the church? What was your intention for the kingdom? Please, Lord, let me be true to that. So God bless you. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.